The next lesson, which I felt like I have somewhat of an obligation to talk to you guys about, because I know there's going to be some of you listening to this podcast that aren't doing this and haven't probably even considered it yet because you just don't think it's important. One of the most important things that everybody listening to this podcast should be doing, and I say this as someone that does this and spends at least 2 hours a day doing this, is investing your money. There's a couple of important sort of sub points to this. Find ways to spend less. Find ways to save more, and find ways to invest even more. And when we talk about investing, typically you think of investing as something that other people do, right? Like wealthy people that live in, Canary Wharf in London or New York City, run around in suits, waving pieces of paper at the stock exchange and investing their money. But genuinely, if you learn the habit of investing your money now, it can have a completely disproportionate impact on how free your life is in 10, 20 or 30 years time. And when I talk about investing, people will often come back to me and say, well, I just don't understand it, right? That's how I just don't know. And I think it's like, isn't it tragic that in an era where we have the sum total of the world's information at our fingertips, and with 5G internet, so we can get it in a second, that not understanding something, which is actually quite simple if you just gave a couple of hours to it, is the barrier that's stopping a lot of people from ever building their wealth. And like living hand to mouth is like okay if you're earning a decent salary. But if you want to build wealth, which is ultimately freedom, I think of money as just like freedom coins, and you're letting, I just don't understand it because you've never Googled it and never tried, be the barrier, be the first hurdle that you can't even jump. For me, that's a great shame. And I did this for a long time. I did this for maybe 25 years. I think I started investing capital when I was about 26 years old. But up until 25 years, I just thought, oh, well, investing is for other people, right? People that aren't like me. And my thing is, I need to make more money and then just save it. No, your money can act like soldiers. It can go out every day, take prisoners and come back with more, right? And that's what you should be doing with your money. If you don't know how to invest and, because you don't understand it or you don't understand cryptocurrency or Bitcoin or whatever, Google it, please. I swear to God, if there was one investment of your time that stands to make you multiple riches over the next 10 or 20 years, it's just learning what this investing thing is. And it could quite literally take you 10 hours to understand. 10 hours to genuinely multiply your future wealth. And you're letting I don't understand it stand in the way of you and your chances of being wealthy. I don't actually know how someone can be wealthy without understanding investing, outside of winning the lottery or starting a very big business that ends up being sold or acquired or whatever. Or, when I'm keyword here, not rich, I'm talking about wealthy, right? But I also know how someone who is earning a decent wage, can become a multi-millionaire by just doing the most basic form of investing. But the problem is they don't teach you this stuff in school. So this is one of the things in life where you're going to have to do it yourself. You're going to have to go and put those 10 hours in. My brother said to me one day, he said, I was talking about, what to do with my money. I was like, bro, my brother's an investment manager and an investment banker. I said, bro, I'm going to buy a house. And he turned to me, he said, Steve, if everybody knows how to do it, the returns are low. And he said, how many people do you know that are buying houses and that know how to buy a house? I said, everybody I know. Everybody in social chain, all 700 people. Some people have 2 or 3 houses. He went, then don't do that. He said, if you want a higher return, you have to go and do the thing that most people don't know how to do. And he went, investing. Most people don't ever bother to teach themselves about investing. We all typically live in this world where, the narrative is you go to university, whatever, you get a job and then you go and get that mortgage and you buy a house. That's the path. So just like thinking logically, it does make sense that there would be greater returns doing the thing that nobody's told you about or that is off-piste, right? And that's what investing is. And we're seeing a real renaissance moment at the moment with young people, old people who would never invest before because of apps like Revolut and Monzo and how easy it's become to start to get into investing, but also because of Bitcoin that pulled a ton of people in. And I think if I could give you a piece of value, if there's something you could come away from the podcast and think, do you know what? That was the day where I started investing. Then I think that would be a tremendous thing that I've done. Because if I could just get one person listening to this podcast to put in those hours and to Google how to invest and to get the Hargreaves Lansdown app or an investment app on their phone and just start putting £10 in every single month into the index funds or the S&P 500 or into Facebook stock or whatever it might be, then I think the habit you'll learn and the rules you'll learn about money will change your life and the life of your kids forever. So I think I just could not say it today.
You're listening to Prime Definition.
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 On Foresight FM podcast.